Greetings, brothers. Welcome back to the stream. Today, we're gonna do something special. During the previous stream, I kind of wrapped up work on episode 1, map 1. Kind of laying the groundwork for the remaster of episode 1, map 2, and I went with like a different theme. I talked about it before in earlier streams, where I kind of wanted to go with like a combination of wood and nature and tech, actually. Kind of like that theme. Give me an idea. Something I hadn't tried before. Let's actually create an underwater base. I always wanted to do something like that. And it just gave me this idea, and you know, it's actually perfectly suited this map. I'm gonna tell you why. Like this map is entirely closed in, so there are no outdoor areas to start. And if you look at some of the areas I designed, like this for example, you know, of course this takes place outdoors. But it just as well, like this is completely closed off. So instead of the sky, I could just as well make like water here, you know? And you get these areas which are bridges. I kind of use them in episode 1 map 1 as well, but then it came to me like, why I can also create like a massive tunnel, like in BioShock, you know, where you have these tunnels connecting areas. We got 3 options here. Which is pretty cool. So I think I might as well just do that. And what we're gonna start with, I kind of wanted to do to rework the entire intro. I kind of want to keep this. It's gonna take a little bit of rethinking certain parts. However, let's actually start by raising the bottom. I actually got this perfect. Like this is already like a sand, so it actually would be perfect for an underwater base. Let's start here. But we might, well, we can always change it, because this is gonna have to be like a massive 3D floor, or maybe not. Maybe we could just do it on like the ground level. If we just, oh man, yeah, this is gonna take like serious reconstruction here. However, I still feel, even if we use this theme, what the challenge actually is for this map is like which areas here are where I'm gonna close it off from the water. How I will connect these tunnels to these parts right here. It's gonna be a bit of a challenge. I could actually make like an outer hull and this like dry part. Like sort of like a mini dome. We can't do that actually. that means like it doesn't really detract from the gameplay, aside from you don't have these encounters on the outside part. That's quite alright. So what I'm gonna do, let's start with this, because this is obviously gonna need some serious rework. We're gonna play around with it a little more. So let's focus on the intro. Now where I'm gonna, like, I'm not really sure if I'm gonna expand this area right here, which I probably should, and have the intro right here. Player start. Initially wanted to do something like a side thing here, but I think I might not have enough room. Unless I expand this. If we do it like this, for example, we can always kind of fine-tune it. This is gonna take a little bit of like experimenting. Hey Shattered, what is up, buddy? Welcome. Welcome. How are you doing? The thing is, like, for the water part, it actually it's pretty easy. Let's try it first. Let's so we got these sectors here. What I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna check the color, which I used. Robbed of your PC. Okay. Care to tell what happened? Yeah. In that case, I'm doing, well, compared to you, I'm doing actually good. That is insane. Like, is it broken or you got a virus or something, or? Jesus Christ, I can't imagine, like. See, this is underwater for me. Underwater enough, and we can actually play around with, if you want like a thicker mist, ocean mist. Now what of course I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have to replace these with some like seaweed or something. Do have like this sand, might be more fitting here. And basically this is kind of it, like when it comes to making a believable underwater area, I think. Oh, very hot, huh? Well, here it's basically back to back to winter. I had to turn on the radiator. Like, okay, that is very strange. Ah, wait a minute. I know what it is. Wow. So you literally got robbed. Holy shit, dude. Oh my god, man. Like, it's kind of... You don't hear that often, at least here, that they kind of that they steal PCs. It's usually money and jewels. Wow, that's insane. Yeah. Okay, replace. There we go. And I think this was like, it overrides it or something. Damn. That is too bad, man. That is too bad. So no leads, I guess. No, I'm not sure how to... You mean like games released? Or like You mean the state of place? I did watch them. I always think these shows are like, especially the PlayStation, like, or was it Game Summerfest? I always think they're pretty cringe. Well, if you mean, like for games, what caught my eye? I would say Ill. That is... Like, I feel like... the industry is in a very bad place right now. I feel like there is... like... almost nothing that really catches my eye. A lot of these things kind of look the same. I don't know. Ill. I would say Ill, and then I would say, what was that game again? The cyberpunk themed game. Stellar Blade 2? But that looked pretty cool. I am kind of curious for the new Gears game. But you know, just hope they don't mess it up. They're very sensitive times. Yeah, honestly, I don't trust these developers anymore. Like, they messed up so many things, so many great things already. Just don't trust them anymore. There is something about this. It doesn't really convey an actual underwater part. I know we can add like bubbles and stuff like that, but not really sure how, like, aside from the fog, how do we make it believable? Like, you kind of need like this kind of like lighting trick. Maybe darker and bluer. Hey, more than that. What's up, buddy? Darker and bluer. Yeah, I was thinking that. And the thing is, like, with the RAM prices, oh, man. Like, it's not a good time to have to buy a new PC. When I, you know, bought the parts for my rig, I was just in time before the RAM prices exploded. So we just got lucky. Managed to do it pretty cheap for what it's actually worth. I could, if I sell this PC now, I actually would make a profit. You know, it's insane. And a serious profit at that. It shouldn't, like, normally it shouldn't happen. But, you know, it's just the state of things, I guess. Is that like a natural? Yeah, I think you might be right, Orlap. Just need to find that ocean blue tone. This one might do it. I feel like. That might be a little better. Yeah, I think you're right. I think I used this one. So if we kind of replace these with some actual weeds, blueless green, indeed. Even like, I think we have something here. It's a little, yeah, it's better. Now keep in mind that these windows, they're also like yellow tinted, so there is a little bit of a difference in color from the actual, as you can see, it's a little more faded. But this is actually pretty, yeah, I think it catches the ocean thing pretty well. One thing we need are kind of like these underwater bubbles. Now I'm gonna check, like I need seaweed. Preferably moving. I think that will sell it a little more than, you know, but I kind of have to remove these trees. Of course, they don't really make sense. So let's check the repository. And the thing is, like, because I have used, in episode 1 map 3, I have used these tech/nature themes already. Oh, banners. We got some banners. Look at this. Wow, that's pretty cool. These are new, I think. I've never seen them before. That's pretty great. Very cool. Alright, so let's see. Repository. Vegetation. That's cool, UAC. Look at that. That is really cool. I love it. What a genius came up with this. Please let there be underwater props. Hell trees are pretty cool as well. Man, there are some new items in here. We can actually use these to kind of signal like leaks. I Ah, seaweed. Whoa, 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 whoa. Here we go. Let's see, seaweed. Warping effect. Oh, nice, 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 nice. Perfect. Okay, so seaweed it is. Let's have a look. Seaweed.text. Number of weeds, radius of patch. Oh, okay, so it's okay. One seaweed patch 1 to 6. Alright. Seaweed patch. Okay, so what I need to do is actually, let's put it in the correct folder. We need to open the WAD file. We need to decorate. Remove this. Actor seaweed 1. Actor seaweed 2. Seaweed 3. Damn. Okay. So we're gonna need. It's been a while since I last. Let's actually put this on screen. So what we're gonna need to do. Was it map info? Where we define, yeah. Okay. We're gonna add these in. Because I kind of want to leave a little bit of room open for my 3D models. Well, let's use a 100. Seaweed. Hope it works. Seaweed 1. Oh, there was one thing. Gonna have to look how it is, if there was anything else, like hang marines, for example. Decorate category. Oh yeah, I forgot. Okay, category. I have to put it in. Any, and where do we put it? Any. Can't even remember. What the files, like the directories were. Put it in. Any core, any answers. Oh, it's already here? What the hell? What the hell? That's cool. User defined. Okay, we might as well leave it here. Yeah. That's actually because I'm afraid I might mess up other stuff here. Let's remove these and just to make sure. But it's great that it already recognizes. Well, just because yeah. Seaweed 6. Patch, okay. This will probably help. I'm gonna do it like this. Because it's easier for me. Because if I only use vegetation, like I want to add the bubbles as well. And I just can put it in the same category. It's easier. Oh, son of a bitch. Okay. So, we got that. Save. Yes. Yes. Okay, so we are back. Remove this. And map info. Oh, we got that open already. Hey, Beetler, working on any 3? Not yet. What I'm gonna do is actually working on any episode 1, map 2. I'm remastering it. It's probably safe to have it like open so I can just keep track, make sure everything is. Seaweed. Seaweed 1, seaweed, okay. Just make sure it's correct just in case. I think we have 6. Oh, wait a minute. Got one there. Six. Okay. And then we have seaweed patch. Also 1 through 6. Oh shit. Okay. Patch 1. Let's copy this at least. Makes it a little easier. Two. 4. That should be it. Save. It's actually, I know there's a way like you could just reload it without reloading the entire map. Just forgot the combination. So let's see if we can actually convert this. Any various, at least it's there. Wow, look at that. True, Shattered. That's the new thing. However, that's something I feel like is actually like a curse as well, because remaster is fine, but they tend to change certain things that are not really appropriate for modern times, so to speak. And I don't like that. If I want to remaster, I want them to be faithful to the original and not change things just for the sake of trying to not offend anybody, you know? So that's for me, like, yeah. And then, that, like, if I see something like that, I'm not gonna buy it, like, you know. It's, remaster, like, you should focus on getting rid of like bugs, make sure it runs fine on modern hardware. Like if you want really, you can, you know, improve the visual quality, like higher resolution textures, you know, make the models better, but you stay faithful to the original material, you know, like the story-wise. Should only improve, not really change. Because I wonder, like, they were announcing. I saw something like an announcement. Which game was it? I think was it like a Resident Evil or Alone in the Dark remaster, where you just know that. I'm not really sure if it was one of those games, but you just know certain lines are not going to be in there. You just know. So let's actually see. Uh-oh. Oh wait. Oh yeah, this is it. This is it. How the hell do you create such an effect? That is pretty cool. We can actually do the same for the trees. No. There is actually... Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That's indeed the worst. And the thing is, like, what you end up with is a product that's not going to be played by, you know, the people complaining about it because they don't have that affiliation with the game. It's not nostalgic. And the people who like the original don't like the new one, the remaster. So you just gonna it's insane. I just don't understand. Like, but you know, the results speak for themselves. Like if you see like the state the industry is in, like the losses, I mean, and they just don't get it. They just don't get it. Yeah, the losses are huge. I just don't understand. Nowadays it's so rare to have like a developer that really just wants to focus on like, I feel like there are too many people in the industry that are not like gamers at heart, you know, like we used to have. And that's a shame. Like there has to be like a crash, you know, a AAA crash it's gonna happen, probably. Because the thing that what is kind of weird that if, like, of course, you know, I wouldn't call it like statistics, but there is, I feel like from the stuff I read, there is like a sentiment even from like youth, that there is a massive interest in retro gaming again, and even from people who weren't around when, you know, those games were at their peak. So it's gonna, I mean, I like retro gaming, so can't say I'm really mad about it, but I just feel like for myself personally, like there are just, if I look at the availability in the modern segment, or the like, you know, what's available now or what's going to be released, it's just not the same. Like, I'm not really looking forward to yeah, true. They're not all corrupt, but there is like this, I feel like, well, infiltration might be a big word, but like certain like fake indie devs right now, they have like a huge backing. Like, I think, was it with Mixtape? Oh, I would never. Like, I grew up in the 90s. But from what I would never play that. Never. That's not like, it's not a game, like, you know. And like the thing, like, if you look at Mixtape, like, I would never buy it. I would never play it. But if I look at, you know, the reviews and like, they got straight 10s. Like, that is, how is it possible? It's not like, there has to be something like, I don't know, there has to be like a corruption in the system somewhere. It's so weird. It's not really like, it's like, from what I've seen, it's more like an interactive movie. Like, how can you classify that as a game? Holy shit, it's so weird. It's so, I don't understand. And I kind of like they pose as an indie developer, but if you look at, like, I've seen, like, there was this, well, not really a documentation, but like an article where like the people behind Mixtape, they're actually like, they're like a millionaire family or something. So they pose as an indie developer, but they're just not. They're backed behind the scenes. And was it government backed as well? Mixtape? I'm not really sure. Like, there was a game. I'm not really sure if it was Mixtape, but I remember reading about a game that was actually backed by the government, and then, you know, it's never a good sign. A 100 billion family, okay. Well, there you have it. That can never be like an indie developer, no matter how you try to twist it. But, you know, it's it has become, in this environment nowadays, I have to say. And, you know, I think it's become really hard to just try to convince people of your side. There's just so much counterweight nowadays. Like if I want to know what happened, I wouldn't just trust like what you read in a newspaper. I never did really, but you know. And it has nothing to do with like conspiracy theories or anything. It's the fact I know from experience that I saw certain events and then read about it in a newspaper. I was like there, I witnessed it, you know, and it was completely wrong. Like how the hell you just make stuff up for clicks? It's insane. Newspapers, like, you know, it's VR as well. Oh, that's too bad. I sure was hoping it would. Yeah. That's too bad because it, like, if you look at, I always wanted to play Half-Life Alyx in VR, but it's like Blu-ray. Like the technology is great, like, but it just didn't, for some reason, didn't really push through or something. I don't know. People just stayed with DVDs and now it's obsolete. I mean, I have like, you know, I have like, I don't know, maybe like 50, 100 DVDs, maybe 2 Blu-rays, and that's it. So weird. Because VR, I mean, if you look at like the technology, I can't really, I never experienced it. At least not in gaming actually, so I can't really, you know, just say anything about it. But if I look at the praise Half-Life Alyx got, it's so weird that it never really caught on. Maybe it's probably like the pricing point or something. But you know, for something to become cheaper, it has to be widely adopted. You have to have these early adopters, which entices the, you know, creators to oh yeah, nausea as well. Okay, yeah, but still, like, it might as well, you know, in another universe it might have it might became the new standard for gaming, but it, yeah. So weird. It's very unpredictable. But you know, I'm happy like you guys kind of understand like the point when it comes to remasters, what we just talked about. It's such a shame, like, arg 0, number of weeds, arg 1, argument 0. Is there an argument 0? There's no argument 0. Maybe they mean 1 and 2. Holy shit. Okay. That's I think the scaling doesn't really work. The radius of the patch. I'm not really sure if I do anything. Like, Radius of patch. Wait a minute. Of course. I did something. Oh wait, it is seaweed patch. Damn it. Thought I had seaweed just selected, that's why. Let's have a look. What the hell is going on here? It's 0. How? That is so weird. Do you have to have an argument? Set arguments in map editor. Number of weeds. I feel like there's something wrong here. Number of weeds, 5. There it is. I don't know. It's not really. There's no really, like, I don't understand how this works. The radius of patch. What is the radius? Do we have to use 100 maybe? Things you can't see it in the editor. Now I can always... Oh, there we go. That's pretty cool. And it has, it scales automatically, like it's a variation. That is pretty sweet. Let's see, let's use 3, 150. Too bad you can't see the spread, like, yeah. Great, okay. Can we actually... No. Seaweed patch 2, 1, 6. Okay, so we got it to work. That's a good yeah. Okay. If we do it like this, I think I can't see shit. You have to be like what I can do is actually decrease the windows. Let's see. Decrease the opacity of the windows. Translucent line. We can actually completely remove that and use an alpha of 0.4 maybe. Okay. Oh, that's kind of like it's clearer from afar than up close. Which might be okay because yeah, that's super weird actually. So 0.3. Very sensitive. Can't really see the seaweed up top even on the rocks. If you look very carefully, yeah, there it is. But holy shit, you have to look. Okay. So what we can do actually is just to make sure that the feeling is conveyed, we're gonna bring it in a little closer. Bring this here. So you can actually, it doesn't have to be everywhere, but I just want to make very clear that this is an underwater area. And that really helps. I wish you had like an effect for behind the windows as well. But I think I'm gonna go with this. This is like maybe if we add a few bubbles or something. You know, I think okay, let's have a look at Realm 667 again. All right. We do elemental effects. Steam also underwater bubbles, that's what we need. Bubbles, okay, we don't need the test map, so let's actually extract. Bubbles, let's see. Radius, okay, that's what we need. Underwater bubble spawner, okay. So we open the WAD file. Check decorate. Actor, oh, it doesn't have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Category. These bubbles are gonna come in handy. Jiggle, rise, jiggle, rise. Okay, you can actually, you have states. So you can actually switch, maybe. Switch them off. Like if you want to drain an area, maybe. Switchable decoration. Not really sure. Bubble spawner. Bubble spawner. Let's put it in there. I'm not really sure if we need it. Okay. Force XY billboard. What the hell is that? I never... Look at this. Oh wait, I think I read it. I came across it somewhere. Maybe. Yes. It even has sounds. Would you look at that? Okay. Warp. Warp. Oh, you can. Oh. Ah, I see. Oh, okay, I understand. You can warp. You can warp textures. That's what the effect is. That's actually very nice. Yes. Okay. So let's put it in there as well. The thing is, like, I could use it in other places in this episode, because we do have a few underwater areas as well, but not really an underwater base. Let's see. While we're at it, let's actually shop. Steam. Yeah, we're definitely gonna use that, but I think it's more for like an episode 3 thing, maybe. Maybe. So we got elemental effects. Do we have something else? Vegetation, friendlies and fauna, particle spawners, weather generations. No. Pound frogs. No, nothing here that is of use. I actually used this one for the drill, laser drill in episode 2. Vegetation. I think we did have our seaweed, but I think that was it. Rocks is not really necessary. No, I love the skull tree. That's pretty cool. So we got our seaweeds. That's fine. Yeah, we got the mushrooms in episode 2. I think. Let's see, friendlies and fauna. Do we have fish? No, we do not. It's actually interesting, like, there are no water creatures. I was definitely like expecting. Oh wait, but these are friendlies. Just a second. How are they friendlies? Oh yeah, and fauna, okay. Repository, armory, bestiary, doom style. Ghost Cactus Mantis? Yeah. It's actually pretty cool. I think I haven't seen them before. This could be an underwater creature. Has the colors, at least. What the hell is that? There are new monsters in here. I think they really got creative. I like it. Like many of the monster designs in here. They kind of try, like, maybe not all of them. Deep one. But most kind of try to stick with that Doom vibe. That was pretty cool. And they're creative enough to... some of the attacks might be over the top, but a floating ice bag, that's cool. But no... still no underwater creatures. Weird. Lots of great designs though. Could even got a tank. I guess some creatures could technically be underwater. But nothing like swimming. Although I assume it's not really hard to make like a fish. I mean, it technically is floating, right? So it would be easy, like if you have a swimming animation. You could create like... wait a minute, I do believe there are sharks. Is there a shark? Hey, pound cake. What am I doing today? And there is no shark. That's weird. Could have sworn there was... like, I remember the shark from Duke Nukem 3D. What am I doing today? I'm working on episode 1, map 2, and I'm actually trying to convert this whole map into an underwater base. Which... actually haven't really done any too much about it. Yeah, I thought it was something different. I think the you know, GZ Doom or UZ Doom technology allows for it. So what I did here was actually, as you can see, I have to replace, of course, the trees. But it does give that... oh, I have to add in my bubbles as well. So if I add bubbles like through the window... well, I'm not really sure if it's unique, if it's not done before. There are certain games, and I mean like older games as well, not necessarily like BioShock really nailed it. The whole underwater base theme. But I think there were games who... actually, I think Shadow Warrior did it before as well. The original Shadow Warrior. Let's have a look, actually. They actually created... like, Duke Nukem did it as well. Not really like a technical base, but... hold on. Where is it? Let's see if I can find it somewhere. Shadow Warrior. Underwater base. So you could... I remember this part. You start up top, which is pretty neat. I see. Like you have this base, which is pretty... They actually did it. Like this is something like I drew inspiration from. But you can actually see there were windows. You can actually Yeah. Like they actually nailed it, I think, here in Shadow Warrior. Now what I would have done here is actually create windows, like in Bioshock. You know, like here I'm gonna replace these bridges with actually tunnels with glass on the sides and on the top, so you can actually see, like it's you know, completely underwater, and that really makes it what I can do actually, and what this allows, GZ Doom, you can actually flood areas dynamically. So I can just, like, if there's like an area here, I can like make a wall crack or something and then completely flood this area. Like for example, what I could do here, let's see, is there like appropriate, well, you have to like have a connection to the outside, of course. But what you could do, like you enter this door, it shuts off, you get like an earthquake. You can trigger like an alarm. The lights turn to red, so the door cannot open anymore. And then, you know, you could actually like lower a certain portion of the wall along with the earthquake, and just have water levels rising, running underwater. And then you have to find like a switch to drain it, or to seal like a hole or something, and then the water can, you know, you can pump it away. It's like it's all possible here. So that's pretty cool. I think, you know, if you have like an underwater base, you should have at least one section where you do that, where you flood the level, right? You have to have that. Traps, well, it kind of depends. Like, hold on. Episode 1, map 3. I'm not really sure if the player, if you can actually drown. Let's actually try it. This is a map that I also need to rework. It's map 3, episode 2, map 3. Episode 1, map 3. So here we go, underwater. Of course, the fog is gone here, like the underwater mist. Because I have to, you know, I ported it over from an older version, so I have to re-add it with the new mechanics. Now, I'm not really sure if drowning is actually what you hear. The underwater reverb is there. Oh, you can actually drown. So you can hear that, like, it's all automatically, like the voice and the sounds. If you, this is an underwater area, you can actually define it. It's a 3D floor. As you can see, like, it's actually very simple. So here, you know, you set 3D floor, the type, swimmable, and that's enough. You just flag it as swimmable, and then everything else happens automatically. And, you know, it's actually, let me show you real quick what I mean. Okay, we use a fade. Let's use this one, for example. Or let's use this one. So we use a fade. And that's all you have to do. Now you go, if you go out, there you go. See? Now you have this, like, yeah, it's because, like, these are built of multiple 3D sectors. So you have to do it for each and every sector, but here you can see this area has like a mist, underwater mist. So it's just a click of a button, really. It's very simple. And now that drowning is actually in place, It's actually really good. Because that means I can add some tension by flooding, you know, certain areas. Now I don't want to, because I think it's like gameplay wise it can be very frustrating. I'm not a huge fan of levels that take place underwater for the big parts. So I kind of want to limit that, but have it more like for, you know, tension, atmospheric results more than trying to alter the gameplay too much. It's fun for like do it maybe at once. At the very end maybe. Like this area for example. Here you have like a bridge. And what I can do, like if this is water outside, then here you get a crack in the wall and the levels rise really fast, and then this area gets flooded completely, these doors get sealed off, and you have to find like an alternative way. You can actually, what I can do is actually, I have to maybe figure out a way to open up like a part of this wall, and maybe at the bottom, and you have to like act fast, and you can actually swim, like go to the outside of this level and reach the exit through through here maybe, and then go back in the base or something. Like I can actually expand upon this area and make it like a thing with where you have these air pockets, you know. But the thing is, like, I could spawn, I'm not really sure which enemies to use there, or maybe just none. But it would be cool if we have like a shark or like a water creature, like you know, the Ichthyosaur in Half-Life. That was menacing, but it's possible, you know. So that's gonna be altered. I'm gonna completely redesign this this bridge, but the layout of the level is gonna, I can keep it roughly the same, so without altering too much of the game itself. What I probably want to do, I'm going to redesign this as well. And I feel like the theme here, if you look at I kind of want to, like, I did in episode 1 map 1, this became a hub area, so I actually gave a clue like what the level is going to look like, and I kind of wanted to do the same. So here you have the entrance to episode 1 map 3. And I also did one for episode 1 map 2, the map we're working on right now. So here, this is the entrance to episode 1 map 2, and this is like a combination of wood and tech and a little bit of nature. So this is where the underwater theme actually kind of came from. Now what I probably want to do, if I actually want to make, I could create the windows here and make sure that it's actually underwater, because this is really not a good indication that the map is going to be an underwater base. So I might modify it a little bit, but you know, you get this is the general theme I want to go for, like metal, wood, and nature. So it's more like yeah, dynamic lights really make a huge difference. Absolutely. And I did try to experiment with 3D models as well for the first time. So as you can see, like I created this huge backdrop, actual 3D models. And we actually have a monorail that I built as well. You can see like a huge, fully 3D model using just the standard textures. I thought I wanted to do something more interesting with the skybox, especially since I actually started using sector portals in episode 2. And I never did it in episode 1. I think you would probably have Quake 2. But yeah, so you can see like, and it's really cool that you can actually have this. These structures are huge, and they require very little detail actually. So it kind of, these parts I remastered, like I reworked to add a little more color to the map, a little more play around with dynamic lights more, and bring in the Doom 3 textures, a few of them which I used in episode 2. So it's, like I said before, like I kind of want to bring the maps or the episodes a little bit closer together. But adding these pipes, it's a pain. I can tell you that. You can scale them, it's fun. Here's the monorail. As you can see, I just used standard Doom textures. But I think the result came out really, really great. And like for the bottom parts, these are actually separate models. Let's see if do we have the result here. Oh yeah. So this is the monorail, because it's really hard. You have to build the sectors first, and then you can actually make the models. Do you ever see it up close? Yeah. The only downside is monorails. Like 3D models, they have no, or well, let's say terrible collision. So if you can have a workaround, but you have to like place 3D floors everywhere. So it's not really a very good idea to have the player interact or come very close to 3D models. If they manage to solve that, to have actual model collision in UZDoom, if they manage to solve that, then you would have a whole different game. It would transform everything tremendously, because you can actually make entire levels out of models then. That would transfer Doom like unlike anything you've ever seen in Doom, if that were the case. But I'm not really sure if it's even possible. Definitely not in GZDoom. Not really sure. I can't remember why. I think Boris, who was a regular here, kind of explained it, I think, once, and he has a great amount of knowledge when it comes to Doom Builder and GZDoom in general, so I don't think it's possible. But if they were to solve that problem somehow in a fork or whatever, that would totally change the game. That would probably, like, these entire bridges, there were so many, you could do so many options, like, it's insane. Now, for this part, always turn back. What I want to do here is create a better vista. Let's see. Okay. Can bring this in a little closer because I want to add some windows to the side here as well. And this actually gives us a little bit of better, like more texture options. We have so many options to choose from in Doom 3. So what I want to do here is actually see if we can actually have maybe use this texture. Can we vertical 2? Vertical 0.5. Need that one as well. Oh. Not too bad, I guess. It's a large texture, and I think it matches the window here with yeah. Now what I want to do is actually elevate this part right here. Of course, everything. This is gonna be a pain. Trust me. Because I usually tend to forget something. And what do you know, actually it worked fairly nicely. So what this allows me to do is create a platform. And there's actually some magic in here. There we go. It's easy to make sure that everything, because sometimes if you're off, you don't really notice it in the beginning. I kind of want to curve this. Let's see. Yeah, something like that. Now, we're gonna work on grid here, because I don't want any trouble. Now, it's quite alright nowadays, but if you try this with vanilla, oh god, you don't want to know. And actually, I kind of want to create like this stairway. So we're gonna maybe a little. Yeah, I kind of like that shape. Now let's calculate how many steps are actually required. And of course, you're gonna need the windows here as well. That's something for later. Maybe like that. I'm gonna need a little more. Now I'm thinking maybe increase by 2. You can actually skip one, I think. That would be. There we go. Can stretch it out just a little bit so the texture remains kind of clear. Okay. And this one we can actually fill in with another wood texture. However, oh wait, I have to. No, these are. They're called differently. So what I'm gonna do here, just to make it look better, we're gonna use insets. Now I had a very wonderful script which could flip all the lines in the same direction. Unfortunately, because of an update, I lost it. And not really. I could reinstall it though. There we go. So this is going to be our new window to the outside as well. So I'm going to expand this area here and have it reach around. So it looks like, you know, it looks a little better. Now, I kind of feel this window could benefit from, we're going to create a nice curve out of this one as well. Like that. Let's see. Now, if we want to do the same for the inner part. Hold on. I think we're going to take these with us. We're going to use the stair builder method. Hold on. Okay, let's leave it for now, because I have an idea. I kind of want to keep this straight. Actually, I wanted initially to curve it as well, but we're going to keep this as it is because there's some room here for some nice decoration. So, but you get the idea where I'm going with this. And what we're going to do is actually extend it one more, so there is room for, of course, this, where we can actually build the window from. There we go. And this is going to be the player's start. So back to this part. In order for us to do something with this, we're gonna flip all of these inwards, and then we're gonna use the stair builder method. And I kind of need, wait, okay, I'm gonna have to do it individually because you know, it'll make sense what I want to do. Do we want to make 16? Yeah, 16. Okay, so you're going to use distinct sector. So what this means, you're going to see, like, when it comes to texturing, this is really easy. If you want to, we're going to use this one, and you can just align them. And you have this very nice trim. See? And we can actually use this one if we want, or this one. I'm not really sure what looks best. And if we actually want, now we have a chance to do this here. I mean, you have this like you don't want to overdo it. But it's sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's really not really sure. Maybe that would be enough. Like I kind of wanted to create this a little bit of instead of just like the textures don't really, they kind of clash a little bit. So it's nice to have like an inset. Maybe this. What I can do is actually divide this, do it like this, to make it a little softer. So we're gonna split the lines, and we create another sector inside. Now I know this is a lot of detail. You can do something like this if you want. But it might be too much for what it's worth. So I think I'm gonna... This doesn't really match well. Now, you can actually have, if you have a texture that has like a trim attached to it, you can, of course, absolutely use that. If I do have an example here, you know, like something like this, but it's, of course, it doesn't really work, but it's different. Like it has this gradual, it changes, and like, see, like this is different. It immediately looks different if you use it like this. There's no good way. Actually, I kind of, you know what, I'm gonna, let's start by building the base first, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so now we gotta make sure that every part is facing inwards. 16 single steps. 16 sectors. There we go. Same thing here. Now you have to do a little bit of cleanup, because if the line is split somewhere, it just takes that into account as a separate sector as well. We don't want that. So same thing here. The alignment is super easy. There we go. That's it. 1, 2. There we go. So here we can actually use the same texture. Now this is something else. Now, what we can do to solve this is actually, we have to find a texture that is like this. Could be a solution. See, it's not maybe the perfect, but it has this nice trim, and you know, it's well, you know, if you see, it's never going to be perfect because there's no texture that actually kind of solves this problem unless you use, well, you can just do it like this and it just gets doubled, which is also actually doesn't look too bad. And then we're gonna use the same for here. Last one. Okay. Now there's not too much room to maneuver here, of course. But you know, it looks immediately better compared to just having a standard. I have to be careful not to go overboard with the trims. Now this, here we can actually use something. This is perfect, see? It's the perfect height. And from here you can actually... Now, the thing is, like, it needs a little... something to break up the patterns. What I'm gonna do here is, instead of going all the way around, we're just gonna save it for this these parts alone. Now the thing is, if there's actually an easy workaround. Now you have a problem here. If you don't want to take everything with you, you get this problem here. There's an easy solution. So, what I do, to make sure it aligns perfectly, you can actually select this line, and then you can go into edit mode or view, whatever mode, and adjust the grid. But there's a cleaner way. You just extend the stair builder, so as you can see, no problem. You just delete these again, and you join these. There we go, and they match perfectly. See? One thing you have to do is, of course, retexture this. That's quite alright. So this is probably something you should do. Yeah, probably something you should do before you actually start texturing, if you don't want to, you know, make yourself or your life harder. But sometimes I just go with, like, an idea pops up in my mind, and I do like it if I get, like, I want to make sure, like, I establish a certain theme, because I usually go from there, and that kind of dictates how the rest of the level is going to look like. So I kind of want to do that very early, to have a clear theme in mind, and sometimes I just go along with it and see what comes out. And then you have to make some adjustments to the textures because, you know, but that's quite alright. So what we need here, what I'm gonna probably do is this ceiling kind of opens up a possibility. To actually extend this part. But we'll see. That's a little too early now. I think we can keep this. I think blue is a nice color to go with. in this specific level. I already have... You know, the thing is, sometimes I feel I'm not really sure if I'm taking the right direction with this. But if you add dynamic lights, it can really change my mind sometimes. I think, yeah, this is really good. I'm gonna have to play around with this, but you know, you get the idea. What I wanted to achieve, and this is like, if you make this side, you can actually copy paste it and put it here, and you only have to do one side. Whereas in the old days, you would have to make each individual, you know, wall. If you want to do like the same, you have to rebuild it from scratch here. It's no longer necessary. Just copy paste it. Which is, of course, great. Now, I'm gonna do here, in order to break this up, because otherwise I might get in trouble with my texturing, I can actually see how it looks. I want to see how it looks first. We have a script where we can flank line depth 32, run, and that will actually make sure that this texture aligns perfectly. And here, for example, we can kind of switch it up with this one. If you can make tiny adjustments, you can actually make this. There's no need to add like a texture in between, because with the very dark color here, and with this, it kind of feels like, you know, it looks okay. And we need to do the same for this, because this is, there we go. Might be a little too much contrast. Or I can actually do it like this. We'll see. It's not like a huge deal. But you know, you get the idea. And this is how you kind of like... I do want to make use of this metal texture. However, I need to add in, and I have to look back at episode 1 map 1, because sometimes I forget like what exactly, you know, it was I did. A lot of tech, not too much Doom 3 here, but we're gonna change that. Now the hardest part is, you know, matching them up with the Doom 3 textures. Doom 2 and Doom 3 doesn't match all that well, unfortunately. So we have to be like, I have to be very careful when it comes to making choices where, you know, what texture, like I feel like for this map, we could benefit from a door that is kind of like a seal, like with, you know, kind of like a submarine style door, like this. Of course, I would accompany that with doing 3 textures surrounding it. Fortunately, I don't have, like, you know, extremely well designed doors to actually have like a sort of sealing, you know, where you can seal it off from, like, I'm not really sure what the English term is for those type of doors, like compression doors, I don't know. So we want something Doom 3 like, which, and this is where I still have to find that, and that's really hard, like one of the hardest parts. Make sure, like, that's, yeah, nothing like it. I'll be right back, fellas. So I was in the middle of finding a texture. Maybe something like a little more blue tones to emphasize the theme, maybe. It's hard. See, this is what I mean. They stick out too much. The Doom 3 textures, they don't match well with Doom 2. Station locked. These ones are pretty great. But they're UEC, and this is actually not a UEC base. Or is it? Maybe? Maybe I could make it a UEC base. The thing is with these textures, they're super detailed. It's so hard. It's a little, maybe something like, I kind of like these colors. So there is some room here. But I would probably have to gradually go, you know. Not really sure. Maybe I should, I don't know. Let me show you real quick what I mean. There we go, bam. And that's it. You have to do like a few adjustments because it doesn't carry over the alignment. But yeah, easy as that. So level editing has become so much easier, you know, compared to the old days. Oh, actually. This is actually completely unnecessary. They already have a nice trim here because of the edge, the dark edge. Okay. Well, that solves a problem. Now that makes a huge difference because you do have the sectors. Let's see if we can actually... Is there a better pattern? Seal. These could be like, these are a little rougher. Like there are some Quake 2 textures in here. They could kind of maybe bridge the gap between Doom 2 and Doom 3. Oh. These panels could work maybe somewhere. These textures maybe. Not too bad. I swear, man, Doom 3 doesn't really mix with Doom 2. Even if the textures are converted. Maybe we can do. Let's try to bring in some color. And let the dynamic dynamic lights do their magic. Maybe, like, you can actually bring a little bit of variation to the table, I guess. Doing it like this. But I feel like, yeah, maybe we should like start off easy. We can also there we go. Actually start over. Okay. think we're gonna make sure, there we go. Okay. And then let's bring him here. It will, like, if I combine this with another color, you know, we're gonna probably have to use, these are attenuated lights, I think. So we're gonna have to bring in a little more, although, not really sure. But we're gonna have to, like, I feel like there's some more detail needed. Maybe in the ceiling with some hanging cables. If we have this like drip effect or something, that would be really sweet. Like the base is leaking everywhere, you know, stuff like that would be pretty awesome. So actually, before we go, let's because I'm gonna end the stream soon, but let's actually try to add our bubble effect, because I haven't really, kind of forgot about it. Oh wait, it's not there. I forgot to put it in the map info, I think, yeah. Let's see, what was it again? Bubbles. Decorate. Actor bubble. Bubble spawner, I think. There we go. Save. Okay. Let's reload real quick. Normally it should be here. I have to check real quick. Radius, okay. Well, let's see. I do hear something. I hear it, but I don't see it. Radius. Now, sometimes radius can be that's a huge bubble. Okay. Huh. Maybe bubble spawner is not what you need. So you need a spawner bubble. I think the bubble spawner is actually needed. Not so much the bubble. Maybe I should put it a little further away from I have no idea. Well, the sound is there. Too bad, I was hoping to at least show up, made it show up, but we'll have to, I'm gonna have to save it for a different stream. Unfortunately, can't get it to work, but you know, we'll figure out. I think there's an example map there as well, so we can actually have a look at that. I deleted it because I thought I, was smart enough, but apparently not. Let's see, just make sure it's not on dormant or anything. No. Like sometimes argument can be 2 or 3, and for the size. Well, it's here, the sound, like... The sound is working. Maybe I should do it like this. It's because it's maybe in the floor or something. Oh no, it doesn't do anything. Unfortunately. But I think, we can actually have to look at the map. We can figure something out to bring this more into... a Doom 3, little Doom 3-ish vibe with the computer panels. Yeah, I think we can figure something out. But if I want to invest in making the map more open. Like these doors, like here, would be a perfect time to actually make like an underwater walkway. It's actually pretty easy. You have to have sloped 3D floors, so it's but like it takes a little bit of effort. But from a technical standpoint, it's fairly easy. So I'm not afraid that what we need to do is work on the lighting of the map, but that's something for next time. So I'm gonna end the stream here. Thank you so much for watching, guys. We'll be continuing this maybe somewhere this week, maybe tomorrow. I'm not really sure. I'm gonna have to see how my schedule for the rest of the day goes. If not, I'll be definitely jumping in next week. But we'll see. So thank you much for watching. Have a great weekend. And if it's possible, I'll see you tomorrow. If not, probably gonna be Monday. We'll see. So take care.